John Abraham is in studio, and what an honor, privilege, and such great fun. Hi, John. How are you?
Good, Hrishi. How are you doing?
Excellent. I just loved Madras Cafe. The detailing, the research, everything that went into the movie. How much have you changed during the process of filming and post?
I think more than me changing, I think it's the people's perception of me that's changed. Madras Cafe, like Shujit rightfully says, is that it's got me a lot of respect as an actor and as a producer. And I think Madras Cafe has actually made that turnaround for John Abraham. Force got me a lot of recognition, and then after Force, Shootout got me a little more. And then it was Madras Cafe that actually took it to another level. So I'm very fortunate to have got this film.
You know, it's amazing how you have such loyalists, people who just swear by you. Nishikant Kamath sits at Scrumptious at that corner of Yari Road, and often I bump into him there, and he says such wonderful things about you. Shujit Da again. Nishikant Kamath and Shujit, the two people who have given you these big hit films, who you work in partnership with. Talk about them a little bit.
First, I'd like to let you know that they're both pretty similar in some way or the other. They're very reclusive. They just want to run back to their houses. They're not into social networking. They're not into parties. And I like that about both of them. Nishi, to start off with, is a very shy, reticent person. After Force, his next film is with me again. He's doing a Marathi film now. Then he comes back and he works with me in a film that's probably Force to the power of 10. It's a beautiful emotional film with a lot of action in it. But, you know, any action backed with emotions makes it all the more special. So I think Nishi and me are up for something that's really special. After which I directly get into a film with Shujit. And that's a true story of a football match that happened in 1911 between an Indian team and a British team. So it's a Lagan meets a Chak De space. That's something Shujit and I are very excited about doing together. So that's my slate for pretty much next year. Just these two very, very special films outside the other two films that I'm producing. But coming back to Shujit's a family man. Before you can pick up the phone, he's run off to Kolkata and he hangs out with his family. He loves his daughters and he wants to be with his family. And give him 1.5 hours only and not more, and he'll play a game of football wherever he is, even if he's on the streets of Bombay.
Can't get the bong out of him.
You can't get the ball out of him, yeah.
The ball and the bong.
And the bong out of him, yeah, absolutely.
Going through your website and you have these numerologists saying John Abraham is a number 8. And I'm looking and saying I'm a number 8 too. And there are so many struggles in his life and this and that.
Yeah.
You believe in all these prophesizers of doom and, you know, people who talk about numerology saying struggle. I mean, you've been through a fair share of struggle. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
But I don't believe in them. To be very honest, I remember there was some numerologists that came out with some prediction. Not because of that, but I really don't believe in them in any case. But they came out with a prediction after my first film, Jism, and said this is the end of John. He started here, he'll end here. He's a model, he's not going to last. And they got some numbers and some combinations. I've lasted for 10 years post that. So for people who still want to believe in numerology, I'm a standing example of please don't believe this crap. There is no science to it.
Roger Federer is a double 8, as in is born on 8 and his total also it adds up to 8.
Just imagine.
Nobody's won more tennis tournaments than him.
Absolutely.
You wrote a letter to a minister saying recently that animals should not be as part of the circus. You were as part of diabetes a few days ago. You've been doing some great initiatives.
Yeah.
Your causes which are close to your heart, in particular animals and diabetes.
Well, causes that are close to my heart are anything that's health related. There's a lot that I do through my mom actually. My mom's a real hero. She takes care of children suffering from cancer twice a week. Another cause that's very close to our heart as a family is the old age home. So she goes there and feeds old people twice a week. And she takes care of animals. She feeds about 200 stray dogs twice a week. And she's been doing it for 30 years. So it's part of our DNA. It's not something we do for any media attention. There are causes where you have to scream out because you want people to hear you so you can get donations. The causes are PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, or Habitat for Humanity, where you need to provide a roof for poor people who don't have a home to stay in. I'm the brand ambassador for those causes. But outside of that, we try and do things very discreetly in the house and try and make people happy.
What a beautiful family. You just talked of your mom. Your dad, you keep saying, is the simple Mallu.
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
A little bit about him and also about your brother who's, I believe, built this beautiful house of yours in Bandra.
Well, I can say there's one part of me that's very proud to be a half Mallu, and there's another part of me that's very proud to be Irani. So I've got a very strange combination, a very strange mix. But I think what my parents have got to me, and this I must say on record, Hrishi, which is very important, which I want my listeners to listen to. My father's a Protestant Christian and my mother's a Zoroastrian Irani. Probably because they belong to minorities as well. I have no religious bent of mind. and that's made me look at the world very objectively. So I do not understand when this country is unfortunately divided on the basis of religion, and that's how our political parties rule. And we are still stupid not to see that. They divide and they say this is the minorities, these are the majorities. Let's rule. Let's hit the sentiment. So my parents have made sure that I've had no religious inclinations. The only thing they've told me to do is just do good for the world. Do good. Don't expect anything in return, because there's a very good chance that you won't get anything in return. So just do good and walk away from there without expecting a single accolade. And that's exactly what we've been doing. And I think we're a happier lot that way. That's the way we've been brought up.
The brother who did the house?
Oh, yeah. My brother, a little hot-tempered, but great at his job. He just won the Indian Institute of Architectural Design Award for the house that he designed for me, for the best residential home. Not only that, he won the best architectural award for the best commercial design for my office. And, those are one of his startups, but today he's really busy. So to get his time is tough. And I'm so happy for that.
And you have a sister too. What is she doing?
Well, that's a Wikipedia thing, and I'd like to correct that. I don't have a sister. I've got many cousin sisters, but Wikipedia speaks only about one of my cousin sisters. And she's in Bangalore. She's my father's sister's daughter. Her name's Susie, but I just have a younger brother. There are just two of us in the family, John and Alan, and we're a family of four, and that's it.
Even in your media planning days, were you always this disciplined? You never went out partying, binging, drinking like all regular youngsters. How do you manage to lead such a disciplined life?
Hrishi, I'm one of those lucky ones who doesn't like the smell or taste of alcohol. So too strong a smell of alcohol, it nauseates me. And my father's a single malt connoisseur. He loves a single malt. So I really appreciate people who drink. So don't get me wrong. But the only drink that I've really enjoyed is champagne, and that also once or twice a year. And I don't have wine, I have nothing, but it's not out of, again, I'd like to state this, it's not out of any moral, ethical or religious reason. It's just that I don't feel the need for it, and I'm fortunate that I don't.
Bikes and cars, which are the current favorites? Which are your current favorite babies?
Oh, my babies. I've got two babies right now in the garage. I've got a Lamborghini Gallardo LP552. She's black, beautiful. She looks like a Batmobile and she's really fast. I have a Aprilia RSV4. That's a 1000cc thoroughbred race motorcycle. She's brutal, and if you don't handle her right, she'll handle you and she'll finish you off. So she's really tough to ride. But once you kind of harness her, she's the most beautiful motorcycle. And of course, I have my Q7. But my favorite car is my Gypsy. I have a white Gypsy, which has no roof, has nothing, has no seats at the back. It's just a two-seater, two-door Gypsy, and I love her the most.
Your fashion sense while lounging at home, while going out for coffee with friends, and for a red carpet event?
All pretty much the same, I think. No, I think at home it's just the boxer shorts. When I go out for coffee, I put on a pair of 3/4 track pants and a t-shirt, and that's how I go out with friends too. And I've been asked by all my organizers, my manager, when I go out for events, red carpet events. I don't go for red carpet events, but when I go out for a function, I've been told, please, for heaven's sake, please wear shoes or dress a little formally. And I say, okay, I'm gonna like the way I'm dressed right now. For people who obviously can't see, I'm just wearing a normal shirt and a trouser and sandals.
The magic mark of 40 for a man.
Yeah.
How much did that change John Abraham?
It's made me sit up and kind of look back at life and wonder what I've done right, what I've done wrong. And honestly, when I look back, I think I've done more wrong than I've done right, because I don't seem to be really satisfied completely with life. And, I'm very thankful to God and for all the appreciation that I get from my audience. But I think I still need to be a better person, need to do better for society. As much as I'm giving interviews, probably talk and actually do more for society and lead a more meaningful life where you learn to live for others rather than for yourself, So I think I'm pretty unsuccessful in that department, which is why I've not been nominated in the Men of the Year list.
I'm asking you this not because of any gossip reasons. That's not my style.
Yeah.
I'm married. I have a little daughter, and I wish that for every person who has great positive energy, and you do.
Yeah.
And I can make out in this room. Marriage, children in the future?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm seeing someone who I think is very, very special. And I would love to announce my marriage sooner than later. I've been planning for it for quite some time, for 2 years now, 3 years. But I think at some point sooner than later, I will take the plunge. And She's brought a lot of stability to my life. Her name's Priya. If all goes well, then I'd love to settle down with someone who I believe is a partner in my head more than anything else, you know.
Did you just reach a point when you said this is the one I want to marry? Like, for example, I'd been through some bad relationships. When I met my wife, I was very cautious. I waited for that friendship to happen for some time and then decide. Or did you use that Sagittarian impulse and say this is it?
It's just the Sagittarian impulse. Are you a Sagittarian?
No, I'm a Cancerian.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's a Sagittarian impulse. I think that's worked, or whatever you call it, in my favor. It's very important for you to validate your relationship, and it's very important for you to respect the woman in your life. I respect Priya a lot, and she's an amazing woman, but it's also important to validate that relationship. So to answer your question, I'd love to get married sooner than later.
I can tell you'll make a great father, my friend.
Yeah. If I have a daughter, oh my God. I'll be hanging out with her. If she has a boyfriend, I'll be there for drives with her. I'm very sure, because I'll be fitter than a freaking boyfriend.
Ayushman had such wonderful things to say about you as a producer. Are you able to be a Kadak producer, or because of everything that you've been through in your life, you're sometimes too compassionate when you're meeting writers, directors, actors?
I'm only compassionate and understanding, because I understand a creative man's space, and I understand where he comes from, Hrishi. You know, they're very impulsive people. Creatively, we want to do something. 2 months later, we want to change what we want to do. And if I don't understand my director's vision, or the fact that he doesn't want to do a certain film, I kind of respect that. Or maybe an actor doesn't want to do something, or has certain qualms, or has certain, wants. I understand that. So I am more understanding than anything, and people see that in me. And I think that's probably my biggest plus.
Last few questions. The Man of the Year initiative on 94.3 Radio 1. I want you to talk a little bit about it and how much you believe in it.
Well, I first of all want to thank Radio 1 for asking me to associate with them in the Men of the Year list. And I think it's a great initiative. I think it's something that must be done. And I think all your recipients on that list are absolutely deserving, each one of them. And many of them are my favorites. I'd love to see this initiative grow with each coming year. And I wish I could be more actively involved with each coming year with this initiative, because I really like what you guys have started off.
Have you met Sachin ever? What strikes you about him? What's most inspiring as far as you're concerned? Your favorite Sachin moment?
I met Sachin, and he's a very nice person. We both got really, really fast cars. The only thing we discussed was cars, because he loves cars. He loves fast cars. He's got a Nissan GTR. So we were talking about that. He's a very simple guy. There's something very beautiful about the man. So I wish him all the best. And like I said, I'm probably that generation that would shut off the TV when Tendulkar got out. I'm also that generation that can tell my next generation that, you guys aren't lucky because you haven't seen the world's greatest batsman, because we've seen it. And all good things come to an end. He had to retire one day. It was inevitable. Unfortunately and fortunately, we're the ones who are seeing him do that.
In terms of fitness, you're working with Chris Gethin now, right? How much has that changed your ideology? I mean, there are some wonderful pictures on Twitter, on Facebook of your ripped body. So what's the diet regime these days, as well as the food regime?
Yeah, well, I'm not on an intense regime, but I must tell you that Chris's company, Physique Elite, has tied up with my company, JA. And in India, we're now going to be called JA Physique Elite. So I can proudly say that it's Chris and my bunch of trainers that are going and training all the actors. Ranveer, Ritik have all been trained by Chris before. But all the new actors now, we're going to send our trainers from all over the world to come down and transform people.
Don't you give in to the Mallu instinct and do an appam, or you do a...
Mallu?
I'm Tamil.
Oh, yeah, Tamil. I shot Madras Cafe in Kerala, and because I have a thing for appams and puttu, you must explain, Hrishi, to the listeners what appams are, if you can.
They are the roti equivalent that Malayalis use, and they're like a dosa, and they're had with puttu, which is the curry.
And I had 30 of them every morning. You can imagine. So when you say given, I gave in.
The Parsi side, the dhansak.
Parsi food is my favorite food in the world. Kerala breakfast is my favorite breakfast in the world. I think I've got great cultures from both sides, so I want to take the best of both.
Because we play international music, are you in touch with modern bands internationally? Do you like some of the new artists? Do you like John Mayer, Adele, Bruno Mars? Or are you still a classics man and you're listening to a lot of retro music?
No, I love listening to all the modern music. In fact, I listen to everything from Armin van Buuren to the Tiestos of the world, to Bruno Mars, to, like I said, John Mayer, to Adele. But slow rock will always be my favorite genre of music. I like bands like Three Doors Down.
Of course,
And
Kryptonite.
yeah, so there's songs like Citizen, Soldier, and Kryptonite, and
Be with you.
oh, lovely.
Song.
Then I like a group called Hinder. That's an Oklahoma-based band. I used to like Creed, Collective Soul, Alter Bridge. Creed, when they broke up, they formed Alter Bridge. And of course, the old classics. I love Guns N' Roses, Sweet Child of Mine. And that's my anthem. If you can play that for me, Hrishi, at least once a day, I promise to keep the radio station on for that song just once a day. Thankfully, we have Radio 1 and we have you guys playing English music because I want to listen to that music. Thanks to Radio 1, I actually turn on to this channel and listen to the music here, and it's highly appreciated, let me tell you.
Thank you, John. Banana and Welcome Back. There are films you're working on?
Well, Banana's my next film under production. Welcome Back is not my production, but I'm an actor in that film, and I'm very excited about both.
An international actor or a film you've seen and gone, wow.
I've not seen Gravity as of yet and Captain Phillips because people are telling me that those are wow films, so I must see them. But the last film that I was crazy about was Rush, a film by Ron Howard, and I was blown away by the performances of James Brule and Chris Hemsworth. So they were absolutely wonderful in the film.
Travel destination that you and your lady love have gone to and said, wow, this is it.
We went to, that's a good question. There's a place in Turkey we went to called Bodrum.
Wow.
It's a beautiful seaside hill station. I don't know, I can't understand that space because it's at a height, but it's cornering a lake and the sea actually. So it's absolutely stunning. And we were like, wow, this place is beautiful.
God bless you. You're a good man and I only wish you the best for you, John.
Thank you, Hrishi. Thank you.